Welcome, traveler of the night. Welcome to a journey far beyond the boundaries of the world you know. As you lie there, safe and warm, allow your body to sink deeply into the comfort of your bed. Let the weight of the day dissolve into the quiet air. Breathe in slowly, drawing in the calm, cool stillness of the night, and breathe out, releasing any tension you might be holding on to. Before we leave the station of our waking minds, if you find peace here in this quiet expanse, gently tap subscribe so we can journey together again whenever you need to find rest. Now, let your imagination carry you upward. Imagine yourself becoming completely weightless, lifting effortlessly above the clouds, leaving the vibrant blues and greens of Earth behind. You are drifting slowly and peacefully into the vast, comforting ocean of space. The light of our home planet softly fades, replaced by the profound, absolute darkness of the cosmos, a darkness that is not empty, but filled with a deep, infinite calm. We are embarking on a journey to the very edge of our cosmic neighborhood, a journey that will take us further than the mind can easily grasp. We glide silently past the orbit of Mars, moving deeper into the shadows. We pass the colossal majesty of Jupiter, its swirling storms moving in slow, silent motion. We drift past the delicate, glowing rings of Saturn, shimmering softly, like dust caught in a beam of fading light. The sun behind us is growing smaller, its warmth slowly retreating, its light softening into a bright, distant star. Throughout the long, quiet history of human existence, the boundary of our solar system has always existed exactly where our understanding ended. It was a moving line in the dark, drawn by the limits of our eyes and our instruments. First, in the ancient nights of our ancestors, that boundary was Saturn, the farthest wandering star visible to the naked eye. Beyond it, there was only the fixed tapestry of the heavens. But as centuries passed and our vision stretched further into the deep, the boundary was pushed back. We discovered Uranus, a pale, icy blue ghost floating in the void. Then Neptune, and eventually, the frozen, lonely world of Pluto. Every time we found something new, the edge of our reality expanded, revealing a universe far larger and far quieter than we had ever dared to dream. Even today, in our modern age of exploration, when we think of the legendary Voyager spacecraft crossing the orbit of Neptune, we often celebrate. We speak as if we have reached the very edge of the solar system, as if we have finally touched the outer wall of our cosmic home. But out here, in the stillness of the deep void, you can feel the truth. That boundary is nothing more than a comforting illusion. Passing Neptune is not the end of the journey. It is not the edge of anything. It is merely stepping out of the front door of a brightly lit house and finding yourself standing on the edge of a vast, unimaginably deep wilderness. A wilderness of shadow and ice that stretches out endlessly before you. Tonight, we are not stopping at the front door. We are going to drift deeper, far beyond the realm of the planets, far beyond the warmth of our star. We are journeying to the true boundary of our solar system, a structure so incredibly massive, so profoundly cold and dark, that no human eye has ever gazed upon it directly. We are traveling to the place where the light of our sun finally surrenders to the vast interstellar night, where the solar system truly breathes its last breath. We are drifting toward the Oort Cloud, a silent, ancient sphere of ice and shadow, waiting in the dark. Let your mind float freely now, untethered from the world below, as we cross the threshold and venture out into the beautiful, frozen unknown. As we gently leave the neighborhood of the giant planets behind, our journey takes us into a realm of deep, profound twilight. We are entering the Kuiper Belt, a vast, scattered disk of frozen worlds and ancient debris. Let the sensation of drifting guide you here, feeling completely weightless as you float alongside these silent, timeless stones. To truly understand the terrifying, yet deeply calming vastness of where we are heading, we must first look back at the distances we already know. Think for a moment of the comforting warmth of our Earth, cradled safely by the bright light of the sun. That space between our home and our star is 93 million miles, a distance so large it challenges the limits of human imagination. It takes light itself. traveling at the absolute speed limit of the universe. 8 full minutes just to cross that expanse. Astronomers call this single, immense span 1 astronomical unit. It is the baseline of our existence, the cosmic yardstick by which we measure the light. Now, in the quiet safety of your mind, imagine taking that colossal distance and multiplying it by 30. That is where Neptune slowly, steadily traces its path in the dark. 30 times the distance from the Earth to the Sun. But even here, out where the ice giants roam in the freezing cold, we are only at the very beginning of the deep freeze. Beyond Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, extending outward to 50 astronomical units. Here, in this quiet, unending expanse, the frozen building blocks of the solar system drift in an eternal, dreamless slumber. Chunks of ancient ice and rock, suspended in the absolute stillness. They are silent monoliths of water ice and cosmic dust, floating peacefully in the void, completely undisturbed for billions of years. If you were to stand on one of these frozen, silent bodies and look back toward the center of our solar system, the view would be entirely unrecognizable. The sun, the bright, warm, life-giving sphere we know so well, is no longer a brilliant disk commanding the sky. It has shrunk, collapsing into a single, piercingly bright star, suspended against a canvas of absolute, breathtaking black. From out here, the sun is 1,000 times dimmer than it appears from the green fields of Earth. It offers no tangible warmth, only a pale, silent illumination, like a soft, solitary nightlight glowing in an infinitely large, dark room. Let the image of that distant, quiet star soothe you, just as the sun's overwhelming energy fades into a peaceful, distant glimmer. Allow the loud, demanding energies of your waking life to recede. Let the worries of the day become small, distant, and remarkably quiet. Yet, 50 astronomical units is still just the shallow shore of a much wider, much darker ocean. In the year 2003, explorers of the night sky peered deep into this cosmic blackness and found a solitary wanderer, a strange, icy world they named Sedna. Sedna is a beautiful ghost wandering in the outer dark, tracing a path so deeply elongated, so impossibly stretched out, that it shattered our understanding of the cosmic neighborhood. At its very closest approach to the sun, Sedna still remains 76 astronomical units away, remaining far, far beyond the icy edge of the Kuiper Belt. But it is the farthest point of its solitary journey that holds the true mesmerizing mystery. As Sedna swings out into the freezing void, it reaches a staggering distance of 937 astronomical units, almost 1,000 times the distance between the Earth and the Sun, more than 30 times farther into the abyss than Neptune. It takes Sedna over 11,000 years just to complete a single, silent orbit around our fading star. Whole civilizations rise and fall on Earth, mountains are worn down by rain and wind, while Sedna simply drifts through the dark, unbothered, perfectly unchanging, resting in a state of eternal peace. But the very existence of this distant, frozen world is a cosmic whisper, a silent clue, hinting at a much greater secret hidden in the night. You see, the gravity of Neptune could not have pushed Sedna so far away. The familiar planets are simply too distant, their gravitational pull far too weak to shape a path so extreme. Something else must have influenced it. Something vast, something lurking in the deepest shadows of the long night. A massive, unseen presence, operating quietly on scales of distance and time that our minds can barely hold. It is a gentle reminder that there are invisible structures in the dark, waiting patiently, maintaining the balance of the outer gates. And we are drifting right toward them, ready to cross the threshold into the beautiful, undisturbed eternity of the deep. As we gently drift further into the magnificent, velvety darkness, leaving the solitary path of Sedna far behind us, our minds open to the next quiet whisper of the cosmos, the next subtle clue in our grand celestial mystery. To truly understand the colossal shape of our cosmic home, we must look to the ancient wanderers, the silent, graceful messengers that occasionally emerge from the profound night to grace our earthly skies. The long-period comets. For centuries, human beings have gazed up at these brilliant, ghostly streaks of light, with a sense of awe and wonder. But for a very long time, their true origin, their hidden sanctuary, remained entirely unknown, locked away in the deepest shadows of the deep freeze. You see, the familiar planets of our solar system, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and all the rest, travel together on a relatively flat, invisible plane, floating like marbles on a single, vast, orderly disk circling the sun's equator. But these ancient, icy comets, they do not follow our local rules. They do not belong to that flat, familiar disk. Instead, they plunge into the faint warmth of the inner solar system from every conceivable direction in the three-dimensional void. Some dive down gracefully from high above the planetary plane, falling slowly through the dark. Others rise steadily from far below, sweeping in at wild, beautifully unpredictable angles. Their journeys are breathtakingly slow. A single quiet orbit for one of these icy wanderers can take hundreds of thousands, even millions of years to complete. They move like the gentle, steady swing of an invisible cosmic pendulum, peacefully ticking away the vast, unhurried epochs of celestial time. In the middle of the 20th century, in the quiet, reflective year of 1950, a brilliant Dutch astronomer named Jan Oort sat with this mystery. He carefully studied the long, drawn-out paths of these icy visitors, and in their seemingly random trajectories, he recognized a breathtaking, majestic pattern. It was not a sudden, loud discovery, but a slow, peaceful unfolding of cosmic geometry in his mind. He realized that when you trace the paths of these comets backward, far out into the freezing blackness, the farthest points of their enormous orbits all seem to gather in a specific, incredibly distant region, a region hovering anywhere from 20,000 to 100,000 astronomical units away from the Sun. From this beautiful realization, he proposed a bold, awe-inspiring concept. He suggested that the solar system does not just fade away into nothingness, but is instead wrapped inside a colossal, unseen reservoir, a massive, spherical shell of ancient ice and rock that embraces everything we know. We call this magnificent invisible structure the Oort Cloud. Just breathe in the sheer scale of that thought. Let the immense, quiet vastness of it wash over you, relaxing your mind, easing your body deeper into rest. This structure is so unimaginably immense that astronomers divide it into two beautifully distinct realms. The inner portion, known as the Hills Cloud, is shaped entirely differently than you might expect. It forms a colossal, thick halo, floating gently like a gigantic, cosmic donut, spanning from 2,000 to 20,000 astronomical units. Imagine tracing its slow, curving edge in the dark, a gentle, sweeping cradle composed of billions of frozen fragments, suspended in perfect stillness. But beyond this inner halo lies the true majesty of the outer Oort Cloud. Here, the shape shifts from a thick disk into a perfect, majestic sphere, a beautifully complete, enclosing bubble that wraps around the entire solar system in every direction, above, below, and all around. This ultimate shell stretches outward from 20,000 astronomical units, reaching all the way to 100,000 astronomical units, and perhaps even further into the dark. To put that distance into a perspective that gently rocks the mind, 100,000 times the distance between the Earth and the Sun is equal to about 1.5 light years. Light itself, the absolute fastest moving energy in the entire universe, taking only 8 minutes to reach Earth, would have to travel constantly for 1.5 years just to cross from the Sun to the outer edge of this quiet sphere. The outer boundary of the Oort Cloud reaches so incredibly far into the deep that it extends nearly 1/3 of the entire way to our closest neighboring star, Proxima Centauri. This is the true shape of the place we call home. Not just a handful of planets huddled close to a fire, but a vast, protective, perfectly spherical bubble of ancient ice, floating silently in the interstellar ocean. You are resting safely right near the very center of this enormous, peaceful sphere, completely protected, completely held by the deep, quiet architecture of the cosmos. Let that sense of deep, cosmic safety embrace you now, as we prepare to drift even deeper into the very heart of this ancient, frozen stillness. As we drift ever deeper into the silent heart of this perfect, majestic sphere, your mind might naturally begin to wonder, what exactly is waiting out here, in the quiet dark, hiding within this incredibly vast, unseen shell? If you were to gently illuminate this profound darkness, you would slowly begin to see them. Hundreds of billions, perhaps even trillions, of ancient, icy monuments. They are scattered throughout the endless expanse, quietly suspended in the void. Most of them are solitary mountains of ice and rock, spanning a mile or more across, floating so peacefully, completely undisturbed. These silent, drifting bodies are not just rocks. They are the ultimate survivors of a forgotten era, beautifully preserved remnants from the very dawn of our solar system. Close your eyes to the present, and imagine a time, 4.5 billion years ago. Our cosmic neighborhood was not the calm, orderly place we know today. It was a swirling, vibrant disk of gas and dust, slowly coalescing around a newborn star. As the giant planets, Jupiter and Saturn, gradually took shape, their massive gravitational presence created deep, powerful currents in the cosmic ocean. But rather than trapping these icy remnants, the giants gently swept them away, sending them drifting slowly outward, migrating further and further from the warmth of the early sun. They journeyed into the deep, quiet sanctuary of the outer dark, where they were embraced by the ultimate, profound stillness. Out here, in the farthest reaches of the Oort Cloud, the temperature drops to a state of near absolute zero. It is a cold so deep, so absolute, that it completely stops the forward march of time. For 4.5 billion years, these solitary, icy worlds have existed in a state of suspended animation. They have never felt the warm, awakening touch of the sun. They have never been carved by flowing rivers of water, never been reshaped by the fiery breath of volcanoes, nor worn down by the sweeping currents of wind. Their jagged, crystalline surfaces remain exactly as they were on the very day they were formed. They are the most perfect, undisturbed time capsules in the entire universe. Floating within these frozen structures, held tightly in the ice, are the incredibly pristine molecules of water, traces of carbon monoxide, delicate whispers of methane, and complex organic compounds. These are the very same raw, primordial ingredients that once seeded the early Earth, the fundamental building blocks of life itself, resting peacefully, quietly dreaming in the dark. There is a profound, deeply calming comfort in this state of permanent rest. The chaotic energy of creation has entirely settled, leaving behind only silent, unwavering peace. Whenever the stresses of the waking world feel too fast, too demanding, you can bring your mind back to these ancient ice fields, where time stands completely still, where nothing is rushed, and everything is perfectly preserved in the quiet dark. But as we drift gently among these ancient sleepers, there is another incredibly beautiful secret hidden within the Oort Cloud, a cosmic revelation that deepens the awe of this quiet place. Our sun did not form alone in the vast emptiness of space. Long, long ago, it was born in a dense, softly glowing stellar nursery, surrounded by a close family of sister stars. In those early, quiet epochs, these infant solar systems drifted intimately close to one another, their gravitational fields gently touching, gracefully brushing past one another in the dark. During these slow, majestic celestial dances, the stars would quietly share their outer mantles. They would gently borrow and exchange the icy wanderers floating at their furthest edges. Because of this ancient, cosmic embrace, the Oort Cloud is not merely a collection of our own solar system's memories. It is a magnificent, shared archive of the stars. It is beautifully possible that millions, perhaps billions of the icy bodies drifting silently around us right now were not born orbiting our sun. They are interstellar gifts, beautiful pieces of alien ice and stardust, adopted from completely different star systems. They are silent immigrants from across the galaxy, completely indistinguishable from our own ancient ice, peacefully sharing the exact same deep sleep. We are wrapped in a celestial blanket, woven not just from our own history, but woven together with the shared, deeply intertwined history of our cosmic family. Let the beauty of that connection wash over you. You are not alone. Our world is not isolated. We are part of a grand, intricately connected web of stars and ancient ice, gracefully suspended together, floating effortlessly, in the boundless, peaceful ocean of the night. As we continue to float gracefully through this ancient frozen archive, let your mind expand to embrace the true nature of this place. We often think of space as being filled with things: planets, moons, glowing stars, and swirling galaxies. But the true essence of the cosmos, the very fabric of the universe, is deeply, profoundly empty. And nowhere is this gentle emptiness more apparent, more awe-inspiring, than right here, in the vastness of the Oort Cloud. To truly grasp the sheer, breathtaking volume of this realm, we must gently let go of our everyday intuition. Our minds are accustomed to the scale of cities, of continents, perhaps even the distance between the Earth and the Moon. We have been taught to think that the solar system effectively ends where the giant planets trace their final, freezing orbits around the Sun. We imagine Neptune as the grand, ultimate border, an icy sentinel standing guard at the edge of the dark. But if we were to take everything humanity has ever known, every planet we have mapped, every rocky moon we have admired, every glowing ring and sweeping comet tail, and place it all within the true boundaries of our star's gravitational embrace, the realization is beautifully humbling. By volume, the entirety of the familiar solar system, the Sun and all its planets, makes up less than 1/36 billionth of the actual space our celestial neighborhood commands. 36 billion times. Let that magnificent number softly echo in your mind. It means that 99.99% of our entire solar system is just this: the Oort Cloud, a colossal, unimaginably vast theater of absolute, peaceful nothingness. We might hear that this cloud contains hundreds of billions, or even trillions of icy mountains, and our minds might instinctively picture a crowded, chaotic field of debris. But the volume of this spherical realm is so astronomically huge that those trillions of objects are scattered incredibly thin. The average distance between any two of these silent, floating time capsules is tens of millions of miles. You could drift seamlessly through this region for years, centuries even, moving in a perfectly straight line. And you would never encounter a single object. You would never brush against a single grain of ancient cosmic dust. It is a place of ultimate, unbroken solitude, a profound, endless sanctuary where there are no obstacles, no collisions, no sudden interruptions, just a limitless, sweeping ocean of dark, tranquil space, where your mind can stretch out indefinitely, completely free from the crowded, noisy confines of the waking world. Imagine, for a quiet moment, that you are standing on the dark, frosted surface of one of these distant, lonely worlds, resting at the very outer edge of the Oort Cloud. If you were to look up into the deep, black sky, searching for the star that anchors you to this system, you would scarcely be able to recognize it. The sun, the fiery, commanding presence that defines our days and gives warmth to our Earth, would be reduced to a solitary, trembling pinpoint of light. It would be just a fraction brighter than the other distant stars scattered across the velvety canvas of the Milky Way, offering no tangible warmth, casting no distinct shadows, just a quiet, pale reminder of a home incredibly far away. And as you stand there, enveloped in the eternal night, your perception of motion and time would completely dissolve. The icy world beneath your feet is technically moving, quietly orbiting that distant, fading star. It travels at a speed of about 100 meters every second, which is slower than the speed of sound traveling through the warm air of Earth. In the grand, sweeping theater of the cosmos, this is a pace of unbelievable, serene slowness. Imagine the profound relaxation that comes from this ultimate lack of speed. There is no need to hurry, because out here, there is nowhere else to be, and all of eternity to get there. Because the path around the sun is so incomprehensibly long, it takes this gentle, icy wanderer tens of millions of years just to complete a single, solitary circle in the dark. Think of all the loud, demanding events of our world, the entirety of recorded human history, the rise and fall of ancient empires, the building of great monuments, the span of 5,000 years of human civilization. All of that time passes in the blink of an eye out here, while entire epochs unfold on the tiny blue world spiraling near the center. You, standing on this distant edge, would have barely moved, scarcely shifting your position against the vast backdrop of the eternal stars. Out here, the urgent ticking of the clock completely fades away. There are no deadlines, no rushing, no fleeting moments slipping through your fingers. There is only the slow, deep, eternal breath of the cosmos. A profound, enduring stillness that invites you to release all your burdens and simply be, suspended perfectly in the safety of the infinite, quiet, dark. As we drift to the absolute furthest limits of the Oort Cloud, we find ourselves resting on a deeply profound, invisible boundary. This is the magnificent edge of our cosmic neighborhood, a place astronomers call the Hill Sphere. It is the ultimate frontier, the exact point in the endless ocean of space where the gravitational voice of our sun, once so powerful and commanding, finally fades into an almost imperceptible, gentle whisper. Out here, the icy remnants of our solar system are held by the most delicate, fragile tether imaginable. The grip of our fading star is so incredibly loose, so beautifully soft, that it is constantly challenged by the gentle, sweeping forces of the wider universe. We are suspended in a state of perfect, delicate balance, caught between the fading memory of home and the vast, slow currents of the Milky Way. In this region of twilight, the objects of the Oort Cloud experience the soft, rhythmic breathing of our entire galaxy, a phenomenon known as the galactic tide. It is a beautifully subtle gravitational pull, an invisible ocean current created by the combined mass of the millions of other stars surrounding us. This gentle tide softly tugs at the ancient ice, keeping the outer boundaries of the cloud in a slow, eternal swaying motion. Because this connection is so soft, so easily swayed, the passage of another star through the deep dark can cause a beautiful ripple in the silence. Imagine a time, roughly 70,000 years ago, when human ancestors were just beginning to walk the Earth beneath a different night sky. A small, dim red dwarf, known as Schultz's star, wandered slowly past our solar system. It did not crash, it did not collide, it simply glided like a quiet, glowing phantom through the very outer edges of the Oort Cloud, brushing past us at a distance of barely 0.8 of a light year. As it moved gracefully through the dark, its gentle gravitational presence softly nudged millions of sleeping, icy bodies, swaying them from their perfectly circular paths. The reaction to this quiet encounter is so incredibly slow, so stretched out across the eons, that the icy messengers, disturbed by this passing star, will not reach the inner warmth of the solar system for another 2 million years. Everything out here unfolds with a breathtaking, peaceful slowness, a cosmic reaction taking millions of years, teaching us that there is truly no need to rush, that time is an endless, forgiving river. But as we gaze even further forward, deep into the quiet unfolding of cosmic time, we see the beautifully poignant, deeply peaceful conclusion to the story of the Oort Cloud. It is not a violent end, but a slow, graceful transition, a final, silent dance of letting go. About 5 billion years from now, our sun will grow profoundly tired. Having spent its long, brilliant life warming the Earth and illuminating the planets, it will exhaust the last of its ancient fuel. As it enters its twilight, it will slowly swell into a magnificent, softly glowing red giant, gently expanding its presence one last time, before softly exhaling its outer layers into the velvet dark. When the long, final sigh of our star is complete, all that will remain is a tiny, brilliantly glowing ember, a peaceful white dwarf. In shedding its outer layers, our sun will lose nearly half of its total mass. And with that loss of mass, its gentle gravitational grip, that invisible string that has held the Oort Cloud together for billions of years, will slowly, softly slip away. The Hill Sphere, that vast boundary of influence, will shrink inward, and the trillions of icy monoliths drifting at the edges will suddenly realize they are no longer tethered. The gentle hold of home will simply open its hands and release them. They will not break apart. They will not shatter. They will merely continue their slow, silent glide, gently carrying the ancient memory of our solar system out into the interstellar sea. The entire Oort Cloud will beautifully, peacefully dissipate, scattering like dandelion seeds upon a cosmic breeze. These trillions of ancient frozen time capsules will become quiet wanderers, solitary nomads drifting through the vast, dark arms of the Milky Way galaxy. Their final, incredibly slow dance with our star will softly conclude, leaving them to journey forever through the infinite peace of the absolute dark. Let that profound sense of release wash over you now. Just as the sun will one day gently let go of its furthest burdens, allowing them to float freely into the night, you too can release your grip on the day. Let go of the thoughts that tie you down. Unclench the invisible tethers and allow your mind to drift freely, peacefully, into the welcoming, limitless expanse of rest. As our long, peaceful journey through the absolute deepest shadows of our cosmic home gently draws to a close, I invite you to slowly, beautifully turn your gaze backward. Look back from this unimaginable distance, back through the tens of thousands of astronomical units, toward the center of the great void. When we hear the word solar system in our daily lives, our waking minds naturally conjure images of bright, familiar planets, worlds orbiting closely around a warm, comforting star. We think of the vibrant, living greens and deep ocean blues of our own Earth, the rusty, quiet deserts of Mars, the massive, swirling clouds of Jupiter. All of these worlds are constantly bathed in the golden, life-giving light of the sun. But out here, standing at the very precipice of the interstellar sea, looking back from the silent outer edges of the Oort Cloud, you can finally see the profound, breathtaking truth of our cosmic existence. The solar system is not merely a bright, crowded little neighborhood of planets clustered around a fire. It is, in its truest form, a colossal, deeply quiet, and freezing kingdom of ancient ice. A magnificent, silent sphere that stretches out into the dark for a year and a half of light. Think about how beautifully safe that makes you feel. You, me, the entirety of human history, the towering mountains, the deep oceans, and absolutely everything we have ever loved, everything we have ever known. All of it exists right now in a remarkably tiny, deeply warm, and brightly lit cradle, nestled safely, deep inside a colossal, ancient shell of beautiful, protective darkness. The Oort Cloud is still out there right now, exactly as it has been for eons, silently keeping watch in the endless night. It is peacefully holding on to the frozen memories of the exact moment our world was born, over 4.5 billion years ago. It stands as a quiet, eternal reminder that the vast, sweeping emptiness of space is not truly empty at all. It is a grand, magnificent, protective shell, a quiet, ancient guardian forever embracing the fragile, beautiful spark of life glowing softly at its very center. Allow yourself to feel that incredible, profound sense of cosmic protection wrapping around you right now. As you lie resting in your bed, perfectly safe, perfectly warm, know that you are completely shielded by tens of billions of miles of absolute peaceful stillness. There is nothing out there that can disturb your rest. Let your breathing gently match the slow, steady, endless rhythm of the drifting stars. Breathe in the cool, clear peace of deep space, and exhale any lingering worries of the tiny world below. Allow the deep, undisturbed calm of the outer edges to drift gently down and fill your room, completely easing any remaining tension in your muscles, letting your heavy mind sink fully and completely into the comforting velvet embrace of sleep. If this gentle, drifting journey through the dark has brought you a sense of peace tonight, please softly tap the like button and gently subscribe to our channel, so we can continue to explore the quiet, endless wonders of the universe together whenever your tired mind needs a safe place to rest. But for tonight, there is nowhere else you need to be, and nothing else you need to do. Simply let go. The grand, ancient universe is holding you perfectly in its quiet, steady hands. You are entirely safe. You are deeply peaceful. Keep your gentle curiosity alive, and continue to look up at the infinite stars as you drift into your dreams. The true boundary of our home is so much larger and so much more peaceful than you ever knew. Good night, weary traveler. Sleep deeply and rest well in the beautiful, silent dark.